rigs are still on the scene of a massive fire in Minneapolis that destroyed several apartments and businesses. They're still working to make sure they have those hot spots knocked down. Flames really raging around 10:30 last night in this large building at the corner of East Lake Street, Chicago Avenue. This is near Midtown Global Market, if you know where that is. When crews arrived, they saw flames and heavy smoke coming from the basement. There were several businesses in this building, including a restaurant, a Latin dance studio, a clothing store, hair salon, cell phone repair shop. Firefighters were able to get everybody out of the upstairs apartments, but after they went and made those rescues, they were concerned for their own safety because the floors became wobbly. We spoke with one woman who lost all of her music recordings and artwork in the fire.
There are a couple different people in the building who are all artists, maybe the majority of the building actually. We're all artists. There were a few different recording studios, hip-hop studios, dance studios, someone who did painting.
This is a very big structure. It takes up over the half the block. And these old structures burning like this, we're defensive now. We're just making sure that it doesn't spread.
Fire officials say they're not sure whether the building had working smoke detectors or not. The basement of the building did have a sprinkler system in place. One big concern for the firefighters was the intense heat we've been experiencing. Combined with the heat of the fire, one first responder was checked out for smoke inhalation, but other than that, no injuries were reported. The cause of that fire remains under investigation. We are hearing for the first time from the Indiana teacher who stopped a school shooting.
Science teacher Jason Seaman tackled the gunman who opened fire inside a classroom at a Noblesville West middle school.
My actions on that day, in my mind, were the only acceptable actions I could have done given the circumstances. I deeply care for my students and their well-being, so that is why I did what I did that day.
Seaman was shot and had to have surgery, but he's out of the hospital now. One student was injured, but many credit Seaman with helping to avoid many more injuries or even deaths.
Now, when you look at this teacher, you say this guy is built. He is a former defensive linebacker for Southern Illinois University.
Storm surges are expected to be as high as 4 feet in some areas as subtropical storm Alberto is expected to make landfall this morning. Mandatory evacuations have been ordered for parts of the Florida Panhandle as Alberto approaches. Officials say a possible tornado blew this trampoline up into power lines yesterday. The official start to hurricane season doesn't actually begin until June 1st, but with memories of last year's deadly hurricane season still fresh in their minds, lots of people spent the weekend filling up sandbags and preparing for the brunt of this storm.
I'm concerned and I'm listening, and that's all I can do. Take it one step at a time.
Forecasters called for 10 to 16 named storms this season, with 5 to 9 of them being hurricanes. Maryland officials now say that one person is missing after violent flash floods roared through Ellicott City on Sunday. The sudden wave of water downstreet swept away cars and flooded some buildings. Officials say the damage is worse than a 2016 flooding that killed 2 people and destroyed numerous businesses.
If you're planning on having Spam today, you may want to check the label first because some of it is being recalled. Quite a bit of it, actually. Hormel Foods recalling more than 228,000 pounds of Spam. Another one of their products as well. They got 4 reports of metal in the food. Canned chicken and pork product made at the company's plant in Fremont, Nebraska. A federal agency in charge of recalls said minor oral injuries have been reported. Nobody wants to bite into a hunk of metal. This covers 12-ounce metal cans containing Spam Classic, as well as Hormel Foods Black Label Luncheon Loaf. Both products have a Best By date of February 2021. You can find more information at WCCO.com. Starbucks preparing to close down more than 8,000 stores tomorrow for anti-bias training. Starbucks created this training session after 2 black men were arrested at a Philadelphia Starbucks in April while waiting for a meeting. One had been denied access to the bathroom because he had not bought anything. Rapper Common is one of the people who will be teaching during this session. Video will also feature Starbucks executives and anti-bias training experts.
A St. Paul restaurant that's been around for more than 26 years is going out of business. Fabulous Ferns on Selby will be closing on Wednesday, and their website says, "We want to thank everyone for their support throughout the years and for the everlasting memories." They will be open today, though, from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. And I'm kind of sad about that.
It's a bummer, yeah.
Ferns.
They've had a great run.
They sure have.
Great run.